Thomas.
Yes, Thomas Lecomte from Natixis. In the past, I think the higher growth rates, organic growth rates you achieved were around 7%. So based on what you presented us today, I assume you are targeting a higher growth rate in the coming years, organically?
I don't think we've said that. We've said we want to accelerate the organic growth we have today. We haven't stated what it's going to be.
But, do you think you can achieve this 7% growth rate from the past? Do you think it's a maximum for Sage, or?
Well, I don't think we've discussed that, and it's really difficult to do when the economic environment is uncertain. So we've stayed away from doing that today for that purpose.
Michael, question.
Thanks, Guy. Could you talk a little bit more about the acquisition strategy in terms of potentially the size of any deals you would consider in the next 12 months? So these sort of transformational, and I think at the results you were talking more about potentially doing technology deals. Would you buy in any of the web services capabilities or SaaS capabilities in any of the territories or for product ranges?
So I think we're going to respond with Paul. Paul is going to remind us about our whole firepower.
I'll do that, and I'm sure Guy will add to that. But interestingly, Michael, on the technology acquisitions, if you go back to Protex, I think it does make for an interesting sort of case study, because we paid about £20 million for that business, and at the time it had revenues of £2 million. So on the one hand, a modest acquisition which, in absolute terms, which brought vital componentry to Sage, but if you looked at the multiples at the time, pretty significant. And I think that sort of acquisition, and David Clayton may comment, but bringing in sort of nascent technology solutions, often web connected, will feature more in the future than they have in the past. That Protex type deal. Indeed, NetSuite last year, 8.3 million consideration, a business with revenues of 1.3 million. So we will see, we believe, more of those deals. Net cash.
Freudian Paul?
No rumor.
David, do you want to comment on that?
Yeah, well, I think that the brief that I've been given is to try to build and indeed partly acquire new businesses in adjacent areas. And the other mandate, and I hope the word growth has come up, is we're looking for high growth businesses. Some of those will by definition be web-based businesses, and I think it would be very attractive to bring those skills into the group.
And to the scale of the acquisition, whether they're small or big is not the key to our thinking here. There will be some small, and if some large acquisitions are opportune and are within our reasonable vision of what valuation should be, then so be it. So I don't think there's a notion that big or small is more important really at this stage, but rather what is the most appealing for Sage.
Okay, we have a question here.
Thank you. It's Vijay Anand from Espirito Santo. You highlighted a number of growth drivers in terms of pent-up demand, connected services, and the potential to win new customers through your expanded offering. I'm just wondering, to what extent are we seeing the full potential of these growth drivers into your low to mid-single-digit guidance for this year? Are we seeing the full potential of these growth drivers?
Well, as I said in my conclusions, some of these projects are sort of long burn, and in the technology sector, it takes a while to build a complete offering, and then it takes another while to build your distribution channels and build your strength. And we're not in a position where we're trying to build full-blown speed on organic growth and thrash the margins. So we're really focused on having profitable growth, and so I believe that the potential will come up in the coming years as opposed to the coming month.
Okay, we have one here.
Could you comment on what you think about the US health business in terms of its long-term strategy and its integration with the rest of the business? I mean, we've seen other UK software companies move in and out of the healthcare sector recently. Do you have any kind of opinions on that?
Yes, and I think I know what you're referring to. The focus, which is ours today, is there is a mountain of revenue in front of us. Remember this number, 10% of doctors have EHR, close to 100% will have it in 5 years. So land grab is key, and I think that has to be our focus to get this business back to growth. It's not been growing for the reasons that Betty has covered before around medical manager and not having new customers come in at this level of the market. And that's our focus for now, all out on land grab.
We've probably got time for a couple more questions. Okay, well, that's bang on cue at 6 o'clock.
Wow.
Thanks very much for coming this afternoon. We hope it's been a very informative and enjoyable event.